He sends a wire transfer from our joint account, then locks the screen before I can ask where it's going. I don't flinch. I just stand there with a dish towel in my hand, warm water dripping from my fingertips. The hum of the espresso machine behind me feels louder than it should. He's sitting at the kitchen table, left leg crossed over, right laptop open, just enough to hide the numbers, not the act. The movement is smooth, practiced like he's been doing it for years. He doesn't look up. Just handling some invoices from the trip, he says, tapping the trackpad twice. His tone is flat final. I nod slowly. I've reviewed mergers worth 7 figures. I've caught decimal point anomalies buried in 42-page disclosures, but here in my own kitchen I can't quite process what just happened. He sent money, our money, and shut me out before I could speak. The old me would have joked, said something sarcastic and moved on. But my pulse has slowed to something else. Not shock, not yet. Something colder, audit mode. I dry my hands, fold the towel, and place it on the counter like I've done every night for 15 years. He stands, kisses the top of my head. I don't move. I'll be in the office. I've got a Zoom with the Asia team, he says, disappearing upstairs. I don't follow. I wait until I hear the door click shut, then I walk to the laptop. Locked. Of course. He never used to lock it. We had nothing to hide. We still don't. Right. The espresso machine hisses one last time before falling silent. I sit down on the bar stool. Open my phone. Try to log into our shared banking portal. Password error. I try again. Then again. Locked out after 3 failed attempts. Now my heart thuds. I move to my office, grab my work laptop. Maybe I saved the login there. Maybe this is just some 2-factor issue. I check my email, nothing. No alerts, no notifications, except one from last week. Subject update: authorized users on joint account from Norview Global, offshore services. But I never opened it. Never saw it. It went to the spam folder. Click. It's brief. This is to confirm that recent changes to your beneficiary access have been processed. Please contact client services with any discrepancies. I blink at the screen. Discrepancies. I open our last financial summary from the previous quarter. His name listed twice, once as primary and again as sole executor. Mine absent. I lean back in my chair. The fluorescent ceiling light above my desk clicks softly. In 20 years of marriage, Alex has never once adjusted our account structure without telling me. We've argued about everything: who schedules the plumber, whether Nadia should study business or art, but never money. We used to joke that it was the one language we both spoke fluently. But this feels like a translation error I never noticed until now. I reach into my file drawer and pull out a printed copy of our original Norview joint account form. There it is, my signature, his 2 passports notarized. It's dated 7 years ago. I trace my name with my finger, then slide the document back in, careful not to bend the edges. I could text him right now. Walk upstairs, say, "What the hell are you doing?" But something tells me not to. Not yet. Instead, I brew another espresso. Let the heat press into my palms. Try to remember if there were signs, subtle moves I ignored because I didn't want to believe them. He's always been confident, calm. The kind of man who could talk a room down during a crisis. But lately his calm has turned to control. Last month he mentioned simplifying our tax structure overseas, said he'd handle the forms. I was busy with quarter-end audits and told him I trusted him. That phrase sticks in my throat now. I trusted him. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe he meant to include me. Maybe the system auto-cleared secondary access during a restructuring. But I know systems. I live in them. They don't auto-remove a name without intention. I take another sip. The espresso is bitter, underpulled, just like this marriage might be. I scroll back through my emails, look for other red flags. 2 weeks ago he had a trip to Panama client meeting, he said. No details, no calendar invites. That's where the Norview account is based. I open a map on my screen, zoom in on the cluster of financial service offices near Casco Viejo, then I pull up the Norview site. There's no login for me anymore, just a static page with a Contact Us button. I hover over it, but I don't click. Instead, I send one email, short, vague. To Vanessa Kim, subject quick eyes. Can you check something on the Norview backend from the team view? Just want to confirm if I'm still listed. No rush. I stare at it for a moment. Then hit send. My fingers hover over the keys. I open a blank doc and write one line: who gets erased first when trust breaks the partner, or the paper trail. I close the document, but the line lingers in my mind like static. I hear the floorboards creak upstairs. His Zoom must be over. His steps are deliberate, slow. I move back into the kitchen, toss the towel into the laundry bin, and pick up a knife to slice lemons for tomorrow's water pitcher. When he enters the room, he touches my shoulder. Warm. Familiar. Everything good, I nod, smile thinly, just thinking about reorganizing some old files. Good, he says. Simplifying, smart. He used to call us partners, now he manages me like a department. If he thinks I won't notice a missing line on a form, he's forgotten who he married. I'm Elena, 42, a corporate finance analyst from Austin, Texas. I don't believe in gut feelings. I believe in spreadsheets, audit trails, and the math that never lies until someone tells it to. Monday morning starts with stale coffee in a chipped mug and a cold car ride through traffic. I don't replay last night. Not out loud. Not in my head. I just drive with the same precision I bring to every balance sheet I've ever reviewed. The office hums with the usual buzz phones ringing, muted grumbling over budget pivots, someone's Bluetooth speaker leaking 90 seconds R&B from a cubicle. My coworker Vanessa Kim, senior compliance, sharpest person in this building by a mile, slides into my cube just after 9:15 with a frozen protein bar and a raised eyebrow. I poked into that Norview view you asked about, she says, voice casual but clipped. I lean back. Yeah, she nods, chewing. You're not listed as a user anymore. Just him. I pause. Could it be a system refresh thing? She shrugs. Could be. But it's not showing any pending reapprovals. Looks like a clean removal. Time-stamped. She pulls out her phone, thumbs open a screenshot. A preview of an internal audit flag, ref number NV2047 beneficiary E. Park deactivated, March 11. March 11. That's 3 days before the wire transfer I watched him send. I glance at the screen, swallow, and force a smile. Thanks. Vanessa eyes me. You want me to keep an eye out for anything else? I nod. Quietly. Always. She walks away and I don't exhale until she's out of sight. Back at my desk, I try again to log into the portal. Still locked. I double-check my recovery email. No reset notice. No alerts. Just that spam folder confirmation, a burial by design. I open my personal archive, pull up the PDF of our original joint Norview, onboarding my name, my ID, his. The form includes both signatures and the phrase, Mutual Account Governance, under a highlighted section. Now there's just his name. At lunch, I sit outside alone in the shadow of the building's southern glass wall. Sunlight catches on the edge of my tablet screen as I open a secure folder, not a corporate one, a personal one. I pull in the old onboarding file, last year's statement, the new email alert, and Vanessa's screenshot. I label the folder March Divergence. It's a forensic term. A phrase we used in post-crash audits to indicate the moment systems split when the truth stopped syncing with the data. I know what that moment looks like now. Back home, the house smells like lemon cleaner and something buttery. Alex is already there, humming softly in the kitchen. Hey, he calls over his shoulder. I thought I'd make pasta tonight. Your favorite. I hang my bag and step in. That's sweet. He smiles. You seem tired this morning. I wanted to do something nice. He sets a wine glass down in front of me. Cabernet. Opens the bottle, pours. Everything is choreographed to say nothing's wrong. And maybe that's the most troubling part. Did something happen at work? He asks, pouring his own glass. I shake my head. Same old. He nods, stirring the sauce. Panama team wants another review next quarter. I may need to fly down again. I sip slowly. Already, he shrugs. They're consolidating operations. I'd rather be there than let someone else mess it up. I watch him closely. He doesn't blink, doesn't stammer. His face is a mask carved from competence. But now I know what to look for. He serves the pasta, adds grated cheese with a flick of his wrist, kisses my forehead. Everything perfectly normal. And beneath it, perfectly wrong. After dinner, he opens his laptop in the den. I pretend to be reading in the living room, but I watch the angle of his body. He tilts the screen away from the hall. Just enough. I wonder if he knows I saw him do that same motion days ago, the reflexive lockout. The towel in my lap wrinkles beneath my clenched hands. At midnight, after he's asleep, I return to my office. I slide open the drawer and retrieve the printout of our original account registration. The ink is slightly faded at the edges, but my name is clear. Signature tight, just like I remember signing it. No hesitation. In that moment, I realize something terrifying. The documents I trust, the ones I thought protected me, are only as secure as the man I trusted to honor them. I place the old form beside the screen with the screenshot Vanessa sent. Then and now. Inclusion and removal. I open a blank document. At the top, I type Truth deviation. Start March 11. Below it, bullet points. March 11, deactivation timestamp. Ref number NV 2047. March 14. Wire transfer witnessed March 15. Login locked March 16. Email confirmation. Beneficiary access change. I attach the files one by one, each one reinforcing the chain. I upload the file to a new flash drive. Label passive proof, Rev A. I lock the flash drive in the bottom drawer. Not because I'm afraid. Because I'm preparing for something I haven't yet named. The next morning, I drop Nadia off at school. She's quiet, earbuds in. I don't push. But before she opens the car door, she says, "Dad's been weird lately." I blink. "Weird how?" She shrugs. "He gets quiet when you're not around. Or when I ask about college stuff. Says he's taking care of it." A beat passes. "I thought we were all taking care of it," I say gently. Maybe she mumbles. "He just said it's easier if one person signs everything." I grip the wheel tighter. "Did he?" She nods, half out of the car. "Hey," I say before she leaves. She looks back. "Don't sign anything you don't understand." "Okay," she pauses, then says, "Neither should you." Then she shuts the door. I watch her walk toward the building, her hoodie pulled up against the wind, backpack loose on one shoulder. And for the first time in weeks, I stop asking if this is all in my head. Because it isn't. It's in the data. It's in the dates. And soon it will be in the open. The first sign of erasure isn't disappearance, it's being excluded from the update. My name didn't vanish. Someone had to deliberately erase it, and I'm going to find out why. I used to believe that betrayal came crashing in, loud, obvious, the kind of thing you couldn't miss if you tried. But it doesn't. It seeps. Like water under a door you thought was sealed. The morning after Nadia's comment, I'm stirring oatmeal with one hand and scanning the news with the other when Alex walks in fresh from his run, earbuds still in. His shirt clings to him, chest rising with quiet confidence. He looks like a man with nothing to hide. "Busy day," he asks, grabbing a water bottle from the fridge. I nod. "Compliance review starts this week." "Glad it's not me," he jokes, then adds with a grin. "That team eats their own." I force a smile. "You should know." He laughs, but I can't tell if he heard the edge in my voice. He leans over and kisses the top of my head again, the same practiced gesture he's been using for days. Then he says it. "Don't forget, I'll need to use the desktop tonight. Some international paperwork I need to file." My chest tightens. It's my desktop, the one I use to log our accounts. The one I've now locked down with two-factor authentication and a ghost login that only I know exists. "Sure," I say. He pours himself a cup of coffee, no sugar, no cream, just the way he's always taken it, and then he leaves for work. I stare into my bowl until the oatmeal congeals. That evening, as I pull into our driveway, the lights inside are already on. Nadia's car is parked out front home early. She's sitting on the couch when I come in, textbook open but not really reading. "Hey," I say. "Hey." She hesitates. Then, "Did Dad talk to you about my tuition paperwork? Not yet?" "Why?" She sighs. "He said he submitted some forms already. Said it was easier if just one of you handled it. But I thought..." I sit down beside her. "Did you sign anything?" She shakes her head. "He said he signed for both of you." "Did he show you the forms?" "No. He just said not to worry about it." My stomach flips. I nod carefully the way you do when you're walking a tightrope and pretending it's a sidewalk. "Okay," I say. "I'll look into it." "Is something wrong?" she asks. I pause, just long enough to make her doubt herself. "No," I lie. "Just want to make sure everything's in order." She nods, unconvinced, and returns to her book. Later, when she's upstairs, I go into the office and open the drawer where I keep our family documents. I flip past birth certificates, our mortgage paperwork, and finally find Nadia's college account folder. Inside, a new form I didn't sign. Account signatory revision. Student access file. Only one signature. His. My name isn't even printed. No copies, no notes, no email trail indicating he intended to loop me in later. I stare at the bottom of the form. It's dated 2 weeks ago, right after his Panama trip. I photograph it, upload it to my folder labeled March Divergence, and save it, redundantly, USB cloud encrypted duplicate. I call the college office the next morning, ask to confirm the authorized parties on file. "Alex Park is listed as sole parent contact," says the voice on the line. "Would you like to submit a revision request?" My mouth is dry. "No, thank you." I hang up. At lunch, I meet Vanessa outside our building. She brings us both Thai iced tea and doesn't ask if I'm okay. That's why I trust her. I tell her everything, or almost everything. Wow, she says after a pause. And you didn't hit him with a chair? I laugh despite myself. She leans in. You want me to dig into the offshore angle? We've got some links to Norview in the Interbank logs. Quietly, I repeat. Please. She nods. Always. We part without a hug. We both know it would feel like goodbye. That night over dinner, I bring up Nadia's tuition. I'll handle it, Alex says. Already did, actually. I nod. I saw. His eyes flick up, then back to his plate. You didn't think to run that by me, I ask? It's just paperwork. She's our daughter. She needed forms signed. I was there. But I wasn't. He shrugs. You were busy. I don't answer. He stands, takes his plate to the sink, rinses it, and disappears into the den. I sit there alone with the clink of water running down ceramic. I remember the first time we sat at this table, newlyweds. Bare apartment. Cheap wine. We promised that money would never be the wedge between us. Now it's the quietest weapon he wields. Before bed, I check the audit folder one more time. March 11. Control form deactivation. March 14. Wire transfer. March 16. Tuition revision. March 19. Login lock. March 22. Sole parent filing. All of it lines up, too neatly. I change the folder name from March Divergence to Dismantling, and I open a new blank document. This one is titled, What I'd Say in Court If I Had To. I type 3 sentences. Just 3. Then I close it. Every time I try to pull a thread, he smiles and changes the subject. But I've started mapping the threads, and he doesn't know which one I'll cut first. Nadia forgets her folder at home the next morning, the one with her FAFSA copy, registration confirmation, and signed health waiver. She texts me at 8:03 a.m., just as I'm pulling out of the driveway. Can you drop it off today? Before noon, I have a meeting the financial aid office. I type back, on it, see you there. The folder sits on the dining table exactly where she left it, a pink tab poking out from the top, a post-it note with her chicken scratch Mr. Lewis, window D. 10 minutes later, I'm on the road folder in the passenger seat, my head buzzing not from caffeine but from the mounting weight of invisible paper trails, each one silently redacted in Alex's handwriting. It's a warm day. The sky is cloudless, sharp. The kind of day that makes people say things like, too pretty to be inside, but inside is where things are hidden. At campus, I park in the visitor lot and make my way toward the administration building. Students hustle past in earbuds and backpacks, oblivious to the drama of parental betrayal. I envy their insulation. I climb the steps slowly, folder pressed to my chest, and push through the heavy glass doors. A security sign-in kiosk blinks green. A soft chime confirms my access. I follow the hall signs to financial aid, Office D. There's a buzz in the waiting area, 2 parents whispering over tax forms, a girl scrolling TikTok in pajama pants. Behind a plexiglass window, a man in his 50s with salt and pepper hair and rectangular glasses looks up as I approach. Mr. Lewis. He nods. That's me. I hand him the folder. This is for my daughter Nadia Park. She texted me, said you needed these forms before her appointment. He flips it open. Ah, yes. We have most of this on file, but thank you. There was just a signature mismatch we flagged. My blood turns to static. Mismatch, yes, he says, adjusting his glasses, for the parent authorization form. Your name was originally listed, but the submitted version lists only the father. That's not necessarily a problem, but the data record doesn't show a formal change request. I blink. So, what happens in that case? We typically request confirmation in person or an override with a signed revocation from the original parties. He flips through the folder again. Actually, he says it looks like your husband submitted this in person. Said you were out of state. I stiffen. I wasn't. He frowns now, clearly uncomfortable. Well, I can't speak to that. But the update was processed here. I'm just the intake coordinator. I glance behind him at the office space. A standard desk, a desktop tower, stacks of forms, nothing sinister. But then I notice the red LED above the door frame, a small hallway camera mounted near the ceiling. Active. Blinking. Do you store video from that camera? I ask too calmly. He hesitates. Why, I'm not accusing anyone, I say quickly, but I may need to verify who submitted what, for legal reasons. He straightens. We store the last 30 days. After that, the footage is overwritten. I nod slowly. Thank you. As I turn to leave, he says gently, Miss Park, if something feels off, you're not wrong to look into it. I meet his eyes. I'm already looking. Back at work, I go straight to Vanessa's desk. He filed a form in person, said I was out of state. Vanessa whistles low. That's bold. There's a camera. They keep 30 days. He filed it 23 days ago. We've got time. I shake my head. We're running out of it. Vanessa types rapidly, her eyes scanning financial logs like she's reading fiction. I can check if Norview's US-facing database logged his credentials during that week. If he was logging in here while claiming he was in Panama, please do, I say, quietly. She glances up annoyed. You keep saying that. I don't break glass unless I have to. I know. She softens. If he's lying about travel, we can subpoena the login IPs. I'm not going to court. She doesn't say what we're both thinking. Not yet. That night I lay the folder on the dining table in front of Alex. He's scrolling through headlines, sipping tea, pretending nothing ever cracked. What's this? He asks. You tell me, I say. You signed it 2 weeks ago at the campus office. He pauses mid-sip. Nadia needed the update. You were slammed at work. You told them I was out of state. He sets the mug down slowly. What are we doing, Elena? I'm asking why you've been signing forms in my name. Or instead of me. He doesn't respond. The silence stretches until it feels like another object in the room. I needed to move quickly, he says finally. Nadia's aid status. Stop. My voice cuts sharper than I expect. You removed me from a financial account. You submitted parental forms without me. You locked me out of our bank portal. This isn't about moving quickly, Alex. It's about removing me from everything we built. His face goes blank. Not ashamed, not defiant, just blank. You're overreacting, he says. I'm auditing, I correct. And then I leave the room. At 3 a.m. I wake up cold. Not physically, emotionally. It's the cold that comes when you realize a person can remake the world you live in without ever raising their voice. Downstairs, I open my laptop and expand the folder. I create a new file. P5, Public Interference, College Evidence Chain. I enter date of form submission March 22, campus office contact Mr. Lewis, known, signature deviation, yes, camera presence, confirmed, footage expiration, April 21. I back it up 3 times. I print the file index and slide it into the drawer beside my birth certificate. I don't sleep again. In the morning, as I pour coffee, Alex asks, "Did you sleep?" I say nothing. Nadia walks in, minutes later, grabs a banana and doesn't look at either of us. And I realize the erasure isn't just legal, it's emotional. The trust isn't fractured, it's been replaced. I came to support my daughter and walked into my own erasure. The man I married didn't file a form. He filed a quiet exit and left my name off on purpose. Mr. Lewis emails me at 9:41 a.m. Subject, per your inquiry attachment, copy of parental signature form, March 22. I don't open it right away. I just sit at my desk at home, staring at the subject line like it's radioactive. A single piece of paper. One signature. The echo of a decision I wasn't part of. When I finally click it open, I scroll past the headers and stamps until I see it. Alex J. Park, printed clearly, signed in blue ink. In the field marked Other Parent, Guardian blank. But the original line was there. Lightly erased. He didn't just omit me, he erased me and left the outline behind. I zoom in. My name had been pre-filled. You can see the ghost of it, Elena S. Park, before someone manually struck it with whiteout. Not digitally, physically. Sloppy. That's the first mistake he's made. I save the file. Upload it to the folder. Tag it P5. Public. 1 downstairs. The house is quiet. Nadia left early for class. Alex's car is still in the driveway. He's working from home today, apparently. Said he needed extra bandwidth for an investor call. But I'm the one preparing for a confrontation at 10:04 a.m. I call the college office. May I speak with Mr. Lewis again, I ask. Regarding your daughter's file, the receptionist asks. Yes, and the campus camera footage from March 22. A pause. Hold, please. 2 minutes later, Mr. Lewis is on the line. I've just reviewed the footage, he says. It clearly shows your husband submitting the form in person. He handed it to me directly. Did he say why I wasn't present? He told me you were unreachable. Traveling. I press my fingers against my temple. Would you be willing to confirm the interaction in writing? Another pause. I can do that, but the university may need to get legal clearance if it's for litigation. It's not I lie. It's just for my personal records. Understood. I'll send it shortly. By the time I hang up, I hear Alex in the kitchen, making coffee like nothing's cracked. I grab my phone, open the voice memos app, and hit record. Then I walk downstairs. He's scrolling through his tablet, standing by the window, one hand wrapped around a mug. "You submitted Nadia's form in person," I say. He glances up, blinks. "Yeah. I told you that." "No, you didn't." "You told me it was handled." "Same thing." "No," I say. "It isn't." He puts the tablet down. "Elena, what's going on with you? You used whiteout," I say. His expression changes just slightly. A flicker. "I saw the form," I continue. "The original had my name. You didn't request a revision, you covered it." "Badly." He exhales through his nose. "They needed it urgently. I handled it." "That's not your call." He straightens. "You were unraveling, stressed, distracted. Don't do that." "Do what? Call me unstable so you can justify removing me?" His voice drops half an octave. "You're being paranoid." I take a step forward. "And you're being deliberate." There's a silence between us now that isn't empty. It's filled with years. With all the small choices I didn't question, all the logins I let him manage, all the forms I didn't check, I end the recording and save the file. 10:16 a.m. In kitchen. Confrontation. MP3. I don't say anything else. I walk upstairs, sit down, and begin documenting the exchange. I list the timestamps, quotes, reactions. At 11:32 a.m., Mr. Lewis emails again. Subject: Statement of Parent Interaction, March 22 body. As requested, this message confirms that Mr. Alex Park submitted Form 84B in person on 3/22. He stated that Mrs. Elena Park was unavailable for contact. Form was processed under assumption of necessity. Attachment: security camera, still hallway, timestamped March 22/11:07 a.m. I stare at it. Alex in a blazer, folder in hand. Standing alone at the service desk. No sign of urgency, no crisis, no chaos, just control. At 12:05 p.m., Vanessa texts. "Vanessa, check your inbox. Found something." I open the forwarded email. Subject: Interbank Trace IP Logs. March 22. The document lists a session from our home IP, same day, same hour. He was logged into Norview remotely while standing at the college office, claiming I was unreachable abroad. He was never in Panama. He never even left the city. I forward the log to my backup folder. Title: March 22. Concurrency lie, PDF. I sit back and exhale slowly. That's the second mistake he made. He lied about where he was, and now I have time-stamped digital proof. It's not a crime, but it's a pattern, and in courts, patterns matter. That evening, I don't bring it up. I let him cook dinner. Stir his sauce. Offer me wine. I say I'm not hungry. I say I'm tired. But when he kisses me on the forehead, I look him in the eyes and ask, "What are we cooking here, really?" He doesn't flinch, just smiles. "Us," he says, "getting back to normal. Normal." He doesn't know that I've already started gathering references for 2 forensic accountants. He doesn't know I've requested my original signature from the university archives. He doesn't know I've opened a new bank account in my maiden name using credentials I stored before the lockdown. He thinks we're resetting. We're not. We're entering audit phase. He's rewritten me from our life, one document at a time. He covered my name with whiteout but forgot the paper still remembers what was once there. The problem with erasure is, it assumes silence, it assumes you won't dig, that you'll mistake your unease for paranoia, your absence from the page as voluntary. But I am not absent, I've simply been watching. At 8:14 a.m. On a Tuesday, Vanessa forwards me an email with no subject line, no greeting, just one attachment. Ref number 2, 90134QBK, Access Control Change, Norview Global iClick. It's a PDF clean official branded in Norview's quiet gray and navy letterhead, a control form digitally time-stamped and executed via secure client portal. I read the title twice. Authorized Beneficiary Access. Amendment Notification Initiator, Alex J. Park. Effective date, March 11. Action: remove Elena S. Park. System log code, 34QBK. Status executed. No notes, no cosigner line, no confirmation request, no fraud alert, just the quiet deletion of a name, my name. I feel it like a sting between my ribs, a small but precise incision. The air in my home office goes very still. Outside, the neighbor's lawn crew buzzes faintly in the distance. I print the form without hesitation, watching the ink spread across the page like a criminal confession. This isn't just suspicion anymore. This is evidence. I open my archive folder, add the file, label it clearly P6, Evidence 1, Control Form, Norview, PDF. Then I open a new document and paste the metadata manually. Ref 290134QBK, date executed March 110903, EST initiator IP74.211.29.4. Home IP log device MacBook Pro A, 2039 removal target Elena S. Park witness required N, a portal authorization. I stare at that last line for a long time. No witness required. That's the loophole. He found it, exploited it, and counted on my absence to keep it quiet. I slide the printout into a manila folder labeled Personal Retention and tuck it behind a family photo on my bookshelf, a framed image of us in Rome 2018, smiling, carefree. I stare at that photo and wonder how many other decisions he made for me smiling. The text from Vanessa comes next. You okay? I reply, I'm ready. That evening I wait until the lights are low, until Nadia has gone upstairs to FaceTime a friend about some essay, and until Alex is settled on the couch with his laptop propped open. I walk into the living room holding the printout. He looks up, his eyes flick from the paper to my face and back again. Do you know what this is? I ask. He sets the laptop aside. Where did you get that? You know exactly where. It's the access control record from Norview, dated March 11. You removed me. He doesn't answer. 3 days before the wire transfer. Still no response. You didn't ask. You didn't warn. You didn't explain. You just decided. His jaw clenches. I didn't think you'd understand what I was doing. I have 2 degrees in finance. You think I wouldn't understand an access revision form? He leans back. You were drifting. I didn't want to drag you into this. Drifting, I repeat. That's your justification for deletion. I was protecting us, he says, voice rising slightly. The offshore holdings were shifting. Panama was tightening protocols. I needed to consolidate before I noticed. He stops. His silence is confirmation. I wasn't drifting, Alex, I say softly. I was trusting. His eyes dart to the hallway toward Nadia's room. I follow his gaze. She's not a child anymore. She's watching. And she'll remember which parent disappeared first and which one said nothing. He stands. You're blowing this out of proportion. I lift the form slightly. This is proportion. This is precise. He takes a step closer. You're angry now, but you'll see this was cleaner. It was necessary. No, I say, it was cowardly. At 9:32 p.m., I scan the form again, this time with my notes scribbled on the back in red ink. Intentional omission preceding wire activity, IP confirmation motive, sole control. I upload the scan to a private legal backup folder, one my firm taught us to maintain during conflict of interest drills. Then I take the original, fold it, and slide it into an envelope labeled, in case of audit, not corporate, personal. At midnight, a soft knock comes at the door to my office. It's Nadia. Can I come in always? She sits across from me, folding her legs under her. Are you and Dad? Okay, I hesitate. We're figuring some things out. She studies me. Did he do something? I open the drawer slowly, remove the printout and hand it to her. She reads it carefully, lips pressed together. I don't know what all this means, she admits. It means, I say gently, he made a decision about something we built together and tried to erase my part of it. She blinks. Will you leave him? I don't know. She's quiet for a long time. Don't let him erase me too. That breaks me. I lean forward, take her hands in mine. Never. We sit in silence, paper between us, the air full of words unspoken. Then she says, I want to help. The next morning, I receive a letter from Norview confirming the control change attached to the transaction record of the March 14 wire transfer, $82,000 to a numbered holding entity, Secure Bridge Holdings, registered in Panama. I now have the control form evidence of erasure, the transaction evidence of movement, the IP logs evidence of location and timing, the college form evidence of exclusion from parental authority, the camera stills and staff statement witness. Corroboration. That's 5 points in a triangle of omission, all pointing back to the same origin. Him. I rename the folder Phase 2, Proof, and I know the next step isn't asking, it's preparing. If he erased me without my consent, what else did he sign for me? The evidence doesn't lie and it doesn't forgive. The mistake people make with financial betrayal is thinking it's just about money. It's never just numbers. It's power, access, identity, what you're allowed to see, and who decides when you're allowed to see it? Alex used to say transparency was the cornerstone of trust. Now he speaks in redacted statements. By Friday, I have everything I need to initiate a forensic trace: the control form, the IP logs, the revised tuition documents, and the March 14 transfer to Secure Bridge Holdings, a shell entity tied to 2 known financial laundries in Panama City. The last file I retrieve is the oldest one. Tucked away in the bottom drawer of our safe behind insurance records and an expired passport is a notarized copy of our original mutual financial governance agreement, dated 7 years ago. Both our names. Joint execution. Clause 12. Any modification of access or control shall require explicit mutual consent in writing. He broke it. Cleanly. Quietly. And now it's time to make noise. At 1100 a.m., I call a contact from my firm, not legal, not compliance. Internal strategy. Cameron Wu, ex-regulatory auditor, quiet as a scalpel, never speaks in hypotheticals. I schedule a video call under a fake project header, dormant ledger review, discrepancy triage. He joins from a private room headset in. What am I really looking at? I share my screen. Walk him through each document, each timestamp. He doesn't interrupt, just watches. When I finish, he says, "This is no accident." I know. He zooms in on the control form. That language isn't standard. This clause, immediate executor override, that's bespoke, added during initial onboarding. My stomach turns. So he planned this years ago, Cameron shrugs. Or he left himself a legal trapdoor just in case. He looks at me. You're not asking how to fix it. You're asking how to prove it can't be dismissed. Yes. He closes the file. Then here's what you do. You file a pre-litigation notice of financial discrepancy. Quietly. No court filing yet. Just notice. Then you trigger a digital trail request from Norview, not via their client portal. Directly from compliance. He pauses. But if you do that, he'll know. I nod. Good. I send the request that afternoon. No subject line. No CC. Just one line of text. Under Article 4.2 of the original MFA Mutual Financial Agreement, I am requesting a copy of all executed access modifications initiated without dual consent. Attachment scan of Clause 12 signed. 2 hours later, Norview replies, "Per your reference and attached clause, we are reviewing your request." A 72-hour hold has been placed on outgoing transfers from the account in question until compliance can validate mutual authorization. 72 hours. I've just frozen our account, and I know he'll feel it. That night I wait. I don't say anything. Don't mention the request. I just make T sit on the couch and watch him scroll through emails on his phone. At 10:16 p.m., his screen freezes. He taps it, taps again, brows furrow. He walks into the office muttering, opens his laptop. I follow silently. Stand just beyond the doorframe. He's logging into Norview. The portal is slower than usual. When he finally gets in, a red banner appears across the top. Account locked. Compliance review pending. He freezes. Then he leans forward, rereads it. Then he does what I expect him to do. He picks up his phone and dials a number I've never seen. "Hey, it's Alex. Yeah, I need you to check something. Compliance flagged my access. I think Elena." He stops mid-sentence. Turns. I'm standing in the doorway holding the original agreement in one hand. I don't speak. He ends the call, lowers the phone. "This is what we're doing now," he asks. I step into the room. "What you did was illegal under Clause 12. He tries to stay calm. "You don't want to make this messy." "It's already messy," I say. "You've been laundering through Secure Bridge. You've been falsifying paperwork. You removed me as beneficiary and forgot I can read a control ledger like a prosecution memo." He shakes his head. "You don't know the full picture." "You're right," I say, "because you edited the picture." I walk over to the desk and place the agreement beside him. Clause 12 isn't gray. It's black and white. Just like your removal of my name. Just like the altered college form. Just like the wire transfer you hid behind a shell company. He folds his arms. "You think you're building a case. I'm documenting one I correct. And Norview just paused your access because of it." He glares. "You're overplaying this." I smile, but there's no warmth in it. "No, Alex. I'm finally playing." After he storms out, I sit at the desk and update the evidence log. Evidence 1, control form. Evidence 2, transaction trace. Evidence 3, college form. Evidence 4. Camera still, plus statement evidence. 5. IP. Location conflict. Evidence 6. Clause 12. Violation. Evidence 7. Norview compliance. Lockdown I. Attach a new title to the folder. Phase 3. Countermeasure initiated. I upload it to a secondary cloud system encrypted and double authenticated. Then, I send a message to Cameron Lock activated. 72-hour clock has started. He replies, next step, statement of discovery. I'll send a draft. At 2 a.m., I receive a text from a number I don't recognize. You may have frozen one account. You have no idea what else he's touched. Call me. M. I don't reply, but I screenshot the message and file it under a new folder, external interference, unknown contacts, because now I know. This isn't just about trust, it's about reach. He didn't just betray me, he underestimated how precisely I can document betrayal. Now that the lock is active, we'll see who tries to pry it open. I wake up to 3 things: a missed call from a Panama number, a 17-line email from Norview Compliance marked high urgency, and a cold silence in the kitchen where Alex used to hum over his coffee. The call came in at 3:12 a.m. No voicemail, no text. But the email from Norview, it's not silence. It's the sound of systems folding inward, the official tone of an institution realizing they've been made complicit. Subject re-request, under MFA Clause 12. Control Chain Review Findings Body. Following our review of Ref Number 2, 90134, QBK, Norview Compliance confirms that access to joint funds was altered without the requisite dual authorization outlined in the onboarding governance documents. Our internal audit reveals the override function was executed using a Tier 2 legacy loophole not disclosed to the secondary signatory. We regret the oversight and have taken the following immediate actions: frozen all current outbound transactions from the account, initiated a Tier 1 fraud assessment of SecureBridge Holdings transfer activity, escalated the matter to our U.S.-based legal liaison. Please expect a formal discovery report within 48 hours. I sit still, absorbing it. They use the word fraud, not irregularity, not discrepancy, not error. Fraud. It's the first time someone other than me has used it. And it changes everything. At 9:03 a.m., I forward the email to Cameron with the subject, "It's official." He replies 3 minutes later, "Get the report." Then, trigger exposure phase. I know what that means. I've used that language in compliance briefings, in closed-door sessions where analysts walk execs through their own moral corrosion. Exposure phase isn't about revealing the whole truth. It's about revealing just enough to force movement. And movement is what I need now. I spend the morning compiling a summary, a clean, executive-ready version of the full case file. Not messy, not angry, just facts. I label it Narrative Package Version 1 for board review, because I'm not the only one Alex has lied to. He sits on the advisory board of Aerogen Ventures, a family office fund with deep ties to clean energy initiatives and legacy wealth preservation. They're compliance-obsessed, one rumor of financial misconduct, and they'll gut him faster than I can press send. I know because I helped write their internal integrity policy. 5 years ago, his face is still on their website, for now. I upload the package to a locked folder, add a read once link, and cue an email to the board chair, subject, private concern breach of governance, by A. Park, MFA violation, and unauthorized transfers body. This information is provided confidentially and with supporting documentation. I am not requesting action yet. I am offering clarity before headlines do. I don't send it. Not yet. Just hover, waiting. Because once I press that button, it's not just our marriage that ends. It's his credibility, his career, maybe his freedom. And I need to be sure that Nadia is ready. She walks into my office around noon holding 2 coffee cups. Her face is still, but I can see the questions under her silence. I take the cup. She sits. "I heard you arguing last night," she says softly. "Dad didn't come home." I nod. She looks down at her lap. "You don't have to protect me anymore." "I know. I just want to know the truth." I hand her a printed copy of the Norview email. She reads it slowly. Twice. When she looks up, her eyes are glassy but steady. "He did this behind your back." "Yes. He stole from you. From us." She swallows. "What happens now, that depends. On what? On whether we want the truth to stay quiet." She stares at me and I see it, the shift. The moment a daughter stops being shielded and starts choosing sides. I don't want it quiet, she says. I nod. Then we move. At 4:17 p.m. I get a response from the legal liaison at Norview. Our fraud team has identified 3 additional transfers between March 12-19, totaling $214,000. 2 directed to layered shell accounts with no authorized beneficiary. Internal notes indicate metadata obfuscation protocols inconsistent with client profile. Requesting confirmation, shall we escalate to federal liaison? I reply with a single word. Yes. Then I hit send on the Aerogen email. There is no undo. At 6:22 p.m., Alex walks through the door. He looks tired, like someone who's been living 2 lives and just realized both are collapsing. He doesn't speak, doesn't yell, just tosses his keys on the counter and opens the fridge. What did you do? He asks, without turning around. I step into the doorway calm. I asked for the truth. You delivered lies. I showed the math. He turns. You don't know what you've done. You're right, I say. I know what you did. I'm still discovering what I need to do about it. He walks past me without another word. Up the stairs. Door slams. Nadia appears minutes later. He's packing. I nod. Is he leaving? Yes. She doesn't ask where. She just sits down and starts typing on her laptop. What are you doing? I ask. She looks up, making a timeline. In case you need it. I blink. Then I sit beside her. And together we build a truth that can't be edited. By 9:00 p.m., Aerogen's board chair has replied. Received and under review. Confidentiality assured. We take these allegations seriously. Further contact forthcoming. Norview follows 2 hours later. Formal fraud case opened. Federal liaison has accepted escalation. Your compliance reference number is FRD77BL3498. The final message I received that night is from a number ending in 9814, the same Alex used to reserve our anniversary trips. You win, but you've destroyed everything, I don't reply. Because this isn't about winning, it's about surviving the lie and recovering the name they tried to erase. He didn't just steal money, he stole my position in the story. I just took it back. Now that the discovery is public, I want to know who helped him hide it. There's a strange stillness after escalation. You expect fire, a crash, a scream, something dramatic to match the magnitude of betrayal. But often it's just quiet. Empty rooms, half-packed suitcases, a phone that doesn't ring anymore. Alex has been gone 3 days. No contact. Nadia hasn't asked where he is. She's focused, planning her class schedule, filling out applications for part-time internships, color-coding her folders again, like she did when she was 13, and still believed hard work kept families together. I don't tell her that truth has a weight even honesty can't always carry. On the morning of the 4th day, I receive an envelope, hand-delivered, no return address. Inside, a flash drive and a 1-sentence note typed in 11-point Arial. You missed something. There's no signature, no initials. I stare at it for a full minute, heart slow, breath steady. Then I stand, close my laptop, and walk out the front door. I drive to Vanessa's place. She greets me in sweats, eyes sharp. No questions. We plug the flash drive into her burner laptop, the one she keeps clean of everything personal. She pulls up the root folder. There are 5 files. 1. Deed. Transfer. Joint. V2. PDF2. Trust Amendment. Elena. Removal. Docs 3. Secure Bridge. Side Channel. Log. TXT4. Voice Memo. 202503111. Conference. WAV5. Note to self. Risk mitigation.txt. Vanessa clicks through them methodically. File 1. Deed Transfer. Alex moved our secondary property, the Santa Barbara condo, into his name only on February 28. A quiet transfer just weeks before the Norview alteration. No notification. No secondary signer listed. I never saw this. Never signed anything. File 2. Trust Amendment. A draft document removing me as successor trustee on our daughter's education trust. No signatures. But metadata shows it was edited on Alex's laptop 3 days after his meeting with Nadia's financial aid office. He wasn't just cutting me out, he was preemptively writing me out. File 3. Secure Bridge Side Channel Log, a raw data file showing outbound pings to a third-party server not listed in the standard ledger. Vanessa parses it line by line. This is laundering adjacent, she says. Side channel obfuscation is textbook laundering prep. He was setting up mirrors, fake paths to bury real assets. File 4, voice memo, we hit play. Alex's voice, crisp, controlled. I don't expect her to catch this. She's always assumed we were aligned. If I'm careful, I can phase her out within 90 days. Keep Nadia protected. But Elena, she's too thorough. If she sees the pattern, I'll need a fallback. Click. End of file. Vanessa stares at me. I stare back, unmoving. That's the third mistake he made. He recorded the strategy. And someone sent it to me. File 5, note to self, just 3 lines, need to reroute Q2 deposits. Burn draft of trust revision before Elena sees it. Confirm if Aragen still requires full disclosure clause in board renewal. He knew I'd go to the board. He tried to get ahead of it. But he was already behind. I copy all 5 files to a private cloud folder labeled Phase 4, Fallback Destroyed. Then I destroy the flash drive, physically hammer Pliers file bit while Vanessa watches in silence. When I'm done, she says, "Who sent that to you? I don't know. But someone close to him is jumping ship." I nod. "Because you're winning." "No," I say quietly. "Because he's losing." That night, Nadia asks, "Did you love him?" I don't pretend not to understand. "Yes." "Do you still?" I take a long breath. "I don't know who he is now." She nods, eyes wet but firm. "He tried to erase you." "He did more than that," I say. "He made sure the erasure looked legitimate. That's worse." "Yes." She puts her hand over mine. "You're the reason I know how to tell when something's wrong. That breaks something in me gently." "I'm the reason you'll never let someone write your name out of your own story," I whisper. 2 days later, I meet with Norview's U.S. compliance officer via encrypted video. He's formal, reserved, but I can read between the lines. We've confirmed 5 unauthorized alterations, 3 side-channel logs, and multiple instances of asset repositioning inconsistent with your standing agreement, he says. Any activity beyond March 14, yes. A 6th transfer attempt blocked by the 72-hour hold. Where to Cayman Islands, shell receiver, likely 3rd-layer laundering. Do I still have legal standing? He pauses. Yes. You're still listed on the original governance document. Clause 12 gives you legal priority for reversal. And federal status. He exhales. We're escalating. The feds have accepted the case as financial manipulation with interstate and international implications. I nod once. "Let us know," he adds, "if you want to go public." I don't answer. Not yet. The next morning I file the paperwork to initiate a reversal petition. It's not a lawsuit. Not yet. But it's a formal notice, a trigger that unlocks legal recourse, forcing every institution involved to preserve records, pause transactions, and acknowledge that I'm a rightful stakeholder. I send a copy to Alex's last known business address. With it, I include a note in my handwriting. "You wrote me out. I wrote everything down." Then I close the envelope and seal it, the final step before exposure. Because now the world needs to know what was hidden and who helped him hide it. He didn't just forge documents, he forged a reality where I no longer existed. Now I'm going to show the world the unedited version line by line. I don't wear black the day the exposure begins. I wear white. Crisp, sharp, untouchable, the color of truth when it's finally been laundered through enough pain to come out clean. I walk into the conference room at Aerogen Ventures headquarters with a leather folder under my arm and a printout of the voice memo transcript in my bag annotated in red. The receptionist offers a tight smile and nods me toward the back. They're waiting. Inside, 7 people seated at a long glass table, each with a hard copy of the narrative package, one I sent them 10 days ago. Most of them haven't made eye contact with me since Alex's name was scrubbed from the company website. Until today. At the head of the table is Caroline Latimer, chair of the governance committee, sharp blazer, neutral expression, 3 decades in risk management, and 2 in silent wars like this one. "Mrs. Park," she says. "Thank you for coming." "It's still Miss," I reply. She nods once. "No one offers me coffee." I sit. Caroline clears her throat. "We've reviewed your documentation. We've also conducted our own internal audit, which has revealed overlapping evidence of misconduct, including unauthorized amendments to shared assets and the concealment of compliance breaches." Has Alex responded? "He's retained counsel," she says. "But no public statement, not yet." I open my folder, remove a single sheet, a notarized deed transfer reversal request, and slide it across the table. "I'm not here to negotiate," I say. I walk into the conference room at Aerogen Ventures headquarters with a leather folder under my arm and a printout of the voice memo transcript in my bag annotated in red. The receptionist offers a tight smile and nods me toward the back. They're waiting. Inside, 7 people seated at a long glass table, each with a hard copy of the narrative package, one I sent them 10 days ago. Most of them haven't made eye contact with me since Alex's name was scrubbed from the company website. Until today. At the head of the table is Caroline Latimer, chair of the governance committee, sharp blazer, neutral expression, 3 decades in risk management, and 2 in silent wars like this one. Mrs. Park, she says. Thank you for coming. It's still Miss, I reply. She nods once. No one offers me coffee. I sit. Caroline clears her throat. We've reviewed your documentation. I'm here to close the chapter before someone else writes it for us. There's silence. Then Caroline says, What are you asking for? 3 things I say. Formally, 1 acknowledgement in your annual disclosure that a founding advisor was removed due to violations of internal governance. 2, a letter to Norview certifying that Aerogen does not and will not defend or endorse any beneficiary fraud connected to Alex Park. And 3, I pause. Just 2 documents, board disclosure statement with Alex's name redacted and the phrase removal due to internal governance violation inserted. Historical bylaw file, 2019. Confirming my suspicion, Alex proposed a change eliminating spousal review of financial disclosures from advisory members. It was passed in committee without full board vote. That's the 4th mistake he made. He assumed everyone would forget how it used to be. But I didn't forget. I remember everything. You're not the first wife to walk in here with evidence, she says. Maybe I reply, but I'm probably the first one with a full audit trail. Vanessa meets me at the courthouse steps. She's holding a hard drive and a manila envelope. What's this, I ask. Insurance, she says. Everything backed up twice. 1 offline, 1 locked to a signal key. If anything happens, this opens a claim in your name with the feds. File 77BL3498. I pause. You think I'm still in danger. I think you've exposed a man who built his life on shadows, and shadows don't disappear quietly. I take the drive. I'm almost done, I whisper. No, she says. You're almost free. At home that evening, I walk into the kitchen to find Nadia sitting at the table, flipping through her scholarship paperwork. Everything okay? I ask. She looks up hopeful. I got the state grant, she says. They adjusted it after the revised FAFSA came in. I smile. You did that? No, she says. You did. You fixed what he broke. I sit beside her. I didn't fix everything, I admit. Some things will stay broken. She nods. But now they're yours again. That night she asks to read the full package, the evidence files, the forms, the audio transcript. I let her. Because the truth shouldn't just be told. It should be inherited. On the morning of the formal exposure, the day I send the federal affidavit, confirming all 6 pieces of documentary evidence with the request for full reversal and restitution, I dress simply. No white this time, just navy. Sharp. Unmistakable. I walk to the mailbox and slide in the envelope. Return. Address mine. Addressee Office of Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Case 7, 7BL, 3498, inside the full truth. On paper. No edits, no redactions, just my name, in ink, right where it belongs. I didn't just uncover his scheme, I dismantled the reality it depended on. With the papers filed and the locks reset, I'm no longer the erased, I'm the author. The letter arrives on a Tuesday. Not a grand gold-sealed document, not a courtroom summons, just a simple envelope with a federal watermark and a case number in the top right corner, 77BL3498, inside 2 pages. 1 is dry procedural. A formal acknowledgement that the Department of the Treasury has completed their preliminary investigation into the forensic evidence I submitted, including unauthorized modification of beneficiary access, diversion of shared marital funds to concealed international holding entities, document tampering within a private trust, intentional obfuscation of asset transfers via side-channel protocols. The second page is different. It's personal. A signed notice of intent to pursue civil restitution proceedings against Alex J. Park citing willful financial misconduct, digital fraud, and fiduciary violations, resulting in measurable material loss to a registered co-owner. It's the first time a government agency has officially recognized what I've known for months. He didn't just lie. He broke the law. And I proved it. I placed the letter gently on the table. I don't cry. I don't cheer. I breathe. In, out. And then I walk to the safe, remove the folder labeled Phase 4, Fallback Destroyed, and add the letter on top, the final piece. The full audit, at 2:14 p.m. I receive an email from Aerogen's counsel. Please be advised, Alex J. Park has been permanently removed from the board, all advisory capacities and related financial instruments. His exit has been recorded in internal governance minutes and will be disclosed in the upcoming quarterly compliance report. It's clean, official, not performative, which tells me someone inside the company, perhaps Caroline, understood the deeper risk that what Alex did wasn't just betrayal, it was structural vulnerability, the kind that ends careers, shreds reputations. He made himself a liability, and now he's been removed like a virus from code. At 5:46 p.m., Vanessa calls. He's in Manhattan, she says, checking into the Beacon Hotel under a travel alias. How do you know? Because someone flagged a credit hold using his backup ID, the one you blacklisted 2 weeks ago. They hit the registry and notified me. I smile faintly. You put a trace on his fallback identity. I'm not just your friend, she says. I'm your firewall. We don't discuss what he's doing there. Whether he's meeting with lawyers, bankers, or just trying to find a country with no extradition treaty, we don't need to. The net is already tightening. And not just the legal one, the reputational one. By now, his name has gone from websites, trust registries, advisory boards. He's been ghosted by firms that once offered him speaking slots and board seats. His LinkedIn hasn't been updated in months, but the silence is loud. In private equity, silence is the sound of exile. That night, I sit with Nadia in the backyard. The sun is low, sky painted in soft golds. She leans her head on my shoulder. What now, she asks. Now I say we begin again. On our terms. Do we change our name? I shake my head. No, we keep it. She smiles. Then can we change the locks? I laugh. Already done. The next morning I receive a letter, not from the government, not from an institution, from him. Handwritten, postmarked 2 days prior. It's short, only a few lines. I never thought you'd go this far. I thought you'd break. You didn't. You wrote the truth louder than I could lie. So this is me erased. No apology, just acknowledgement, and cowardice. Because even now he's still narrating himself as a tragic figure, not the architect of his own collapse. I burn the letter. Then I vacuum the ashes. Because even ashes take up space I no longer owe him. That weekend I draft the last document I'll ever write about him, final accounting, emotional ledger, 2 columns. Left losses, trust time, years of being edited out silently, right gains autonomy, Nadia's respect, proof that silence is not protection. At the bottom of the page I write net value freedom, and I sign my name, in full, in ink. The final call comes a week later. Cameron's voice on the other end is steady. The restitution will go through, he says. Partial clawbacks already frozen. The Fed's filing injunction will hold. You'll have control restored within 60 days. And criminal charges pending. He's no longer insulated. I close my eyes. Thank you, I say. He pauses. No, he replies. Thank you for writing it down when others would have let it slide. 3 months later, Nadia and I stand outside a notary's office holding a thick envelope, new deed, amended trust, federal clearance letter. She looks at me. You okay? I am. And I mean it. Because everything he erased I've reclaimed. Everything he wrote over I've rewritten. Everything he owned I now own outright in my name under my hand. Not vengeance. Restoration. I hold the pen. I write the line. This is where the story turns. He tried to end me with ink and lies. I ended him with the truth and a signature. Now that I hold the pen again, I'm not writing about him. I'm writing us forward. 6 months later, the house is quiet. Not tense quiet, not the kind where secrets breathe beneath the floorboards or a man's absence feels like a pending storm. This is peace. Space that holds only what we choose to let in. The walls no longer remember Alex's voice. The coffee doesn't steep next to excuses. The accounts are clean, the names are mine, and the locks turn with finality. It's the quiet I earned, page by page, proof by proof, and I fill it now with choices that belong to me. In July, the restitution clears. $286,000, recovered across 3 reversed wire transactions, 1 frozen offshore transfer, and a court-mediated asset release from Secure Bridge's holding proxy. The letter arrives folded in thirds, tucked into a federal envelope with a Department of Justice watermark. It's not elegant, but it's final. Inside is a line that makes me pause. You are listed as primary recipient on all restored assets following successful invocation of mutual financial governance clauses. Future actions will remain solely at your discretion. Solely. That word sits heavy. A weight I once feared, but not anymore. Because I've carried everything: betrayal, exposure, evidence, erasure, and I'm still standing. No, I'm building. Nadia gets her acceptance letter to NYU in August. She opens it in the kitchen, barefoot, tears springing to her eyes before the first line is finished. I hug her. Hard. She whispers, "He would have ruined this for me." I whisper back, "You took it back." Then I slide an envelope across the table, her education trust fully restored, restructured under a new clause, no amendments without beneficiary consent. She reads the clause twice, then signs. Because even legacy should have checks. Even love needs safeguards. In September, I do something I never expected. I publish a personal essay, anonymous but real, titled "The Signature He Didn't Control." It runs on a mid-sized journal's digital issue, part legal case study, part emotional roadmap, a blueprint for anyone who's ever been written out quietly. I don't name him. I don't have to. The truth is loud enough. Within 48 hours, it's shared 1,6,000 times. By women in finance, by survivors of white-collar coercion, by daughters who watch their mothers disappear in spreadsheets and offshore accounts, and by attorneys who say, "We've seen this before." But never this clear. Because clarity is power, and I finally own every line. In October, a colleague from my old firm invites me to speak at a legal ethics summit. Topic: When financial erasure becomes emotional violence, and how to audit the story I accept. Not because I want to relive it, but because I want to close the door after opening it. Before I leave for the summit, I visit a notary with a final set of documents, a living trust in my name, a property reintegration filing confirming full ownership of the Santa Barbara condo, and a letter to myself dated 1 year prior folded. Neatly inside, the letter reads, "If you're reading this, you survived it. You didn't just prove what he did. You proved that erasure doesn't work on women who keep receipts. Now go live in the version of the story you wrote yourself." I smile. Then I sign the trust. With the pen he once gave me for our anniversary, a Mont Blanc. Expensive. Weighted. Let him keep the guilt. I'll keep the pen. At the summit, I open my talk with a simple slide. Proof is love in legal format. The room goes still. Then I begin. Not with anger. Not with accusation. With data. With timelines. With the anatomy of quiet betrayal and the power of loud documentation. I watch women take notes. Men lean forward. I hear the soft gasps when I show how one digital signature, one remove Elena S. Park, unraveled into a case that spanned 3 agencies, 5 jurisdictions, and 2 continents. I end the talk with a line that wasn't mine originally. It was Nadia's. Don't let anyone write your name out of your own story. The applause is quiet, respectful, earned. Afterward, a woman from the crowd approaches me, tears in her eyes. "My husband changed our daughter's school registration behind my back," she says. "It felt small, but it didn't feel right." "It's not small," I reply. "It's erasure in lowercase." She nods. And I know she'll go home and start documenting. Because once you see the pattern, you don't unsee it. You trace it, then you reverse it. In December, a letter arrives. From the Office of Financial Crimes Enforcement. Subject: Recase 77BL3498. Final status outcome: case closed with verified fraud. Subject ineligible for fiduciary roles for 12 years. Record sealed under public interest clause unless reopened for civil litigation. It's done. No criminal trial, no jail time. But no clean return for him either. Just the long, slow consequences of erasure undone. And now I sleep with the window open. I buy flowers for no reason. I refill my accounts without asking permission. And I open a new document on my laptop titled Chapter 1, in my own hand. It's not about him. It's not about revenge. It's about memory, the kind that keeps receipts, signs, documents, and leaves nothing unsigned. Because in the end, this wasn't a story about a man who lied. It was about a woman who refused to disappear. I wasn't the one who disappeared. I was the one who remembered. And now that the final form is filed and the final word is mine, I begin again.